Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to my fossil species account for vertebrate design in 2019. I'm going to be using it to do a little bit of Paleoart, starring Archelon ischyros. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. So, what was Archelon? Archelon was a sea turtle, a very, very big sea turtle. The holotype was discovered and described by George Whalen in 1896, so this is a very old fossil. It was found near the Cheyenne River near Fort Pierre, South Dakota, and is from the Upper Cretaceous period. Now, all turtles are fairly recognizable, thanks for the fact that they have a carapace and a plastron, as you can see in my posed drawings here. But there are some specific things about sea turtles that they all share. One is the fact that their limbs have been adjusted into flippers rather than feet, as you can see. And also, many of them, including Archelon, have minimized carapaces. So Archelon was actually more similar to the modern-day leatherback than it would be to most other sea turtles that have stronger shells. Instead, had thick leathery skin that covered all of its carapace and its plastron. You can see this if you ever go to see a leatherback. They don't have the solid shell that many of the other turtles have. Archelon, like all other sea turtles, are actually within the suborder Cryptodira of the testudines, the other suborder being Pleurodira, which are made of the side neck turtles, but pretty much every turtle that you've met or heard of is probably within the Cryptodira suborder. So all sea turtles are within the superfamily Chelinoidea, which implies that all marine turtles have the same ancestral source, so that they only actually evolved once rather than multiple times. There are two surviving families within the sea turtles, the ones that give Chelinoidea their name, as well as the Dermochelidae, which basically only really have the leatherbacks anymore as extant creatures. Archelon belongs to the family Protostegidae, which has a few other fossils in it as well. Originally, Archelon was considered to be a close relative of the leatherback in Dermochelidae, but more recently they've discovered that they're fairly far apart on the tree, and in fact, Protostegidae is much more of a stem group that is related to Dermochelidae, but is still its own thing and separate. So, when talking about the characteristics of Archelon, when you go back as far as the sea turtles, of course, we have the flippers, the minimized carapace, but Protostegidae in particular have a very interesting feature, and these are the star-shaped plastron disc. You can see them here in Whelan's holotype through the ribs of the carapace, but unfortunately you can't see them in my drawing, but that's just how this pose ended up. For characteristics that are unique to Archelon, aka its autapomorphies, the main one that you would see immediately would be its beak. Its premaxilla has formed a large down-curved beak, nice and sharp for a good bite. But that's probably not the first thing you're going to notice about Archelon. The first thing you're going to notice is how big it is. The biggest known fossil for Archelon was 16 feet from the tip of snout to tail, and 13 feet across from the end of one foreflipper to the other. That's very big. To give you an idea of just how big, I'm going to do a slight scale rendition. So here's 16 feet. Now I'm going to give a 6-foot human being, right? Approximately 6 foot. And let's give her a little wave so she can say hi to the giant turtle. So right beside you can kind of get an idea for the scale of this creature. And in fact, Archelon was the biggest sea turtle to have ever lived. So, at least as far as we've discovered so far, maybe we'll discover some other gigantic turtles in the future, but until then, Archelon takes the top. And here we have my final painting rendition of Archelon, the first paleo art that I have ever done. It was very fun and in watercolor, and I hope you enjoyed it because I sure did too. Thanks everybody. See you later.